Hello everybody and welcome back to the Aviary. Today we're going to go on an adventure over to Rhonda's Aviary in Milton, Florida and pick up some new birds. I couldn't be more excited. As you can see, we've already got the quarantine cages ready, which I've discussed in a previous video. I've got fresh newspaper, fresh seed, and I always like to wait and add the water when I get the birds so that they have the freshest water possible. For travel cages, I just use these small store-bought cages because I'd like the birds to be able to see, and I like to be able to see them for the 1-hour trip home from Rhonda's. I think it makes them more comfortable, and it's more fun for me to see my new birds. Here we are packed up for the trip and driving down I-10. About an hour and 60-some miles later, we've arrived at Rhonda's Aviary, one of my favorite stores and probably the best bird store I've ever been to. I'm so lucky to live so close to it. Like I said, Rhonda's is in Milton, Florida, and they have an incredible selection of seed, supplies, and everything else you might need for a bird. But my favorite are definitely the hand-fed baby birds, some of which I've bred. She also has a couple of store birds, like my buddy Jasper here, and my favorite, Roscoe.
Hi, Roscoe.
After visiting with Roscoe, it was time to go to my favorite room, the small bird room, which has a variety of finches, canaries, and other small birds. There was a pair of birds that I already ordered, ready for me to pick up, but I also had a few other birds on my stocking list, and I knew Rhonda had just gotten an order in, so I wanted to see what else was available for me to take home. It's very fun and exciting, and I spent about an hour in here watching birds. And while I don't keep any myself, I always like to see Rhonda's reptile and insect selection. I think it's really cool and really fascinating. And even though I don't have any myself, I'm always interested in it and I love all animals. So it's always great to walk around the store and check out what's going on. These rooms hold mostly supplies for reptiles, but there's some useful stuff in here for birds too, like decoration for the aviary, heat lamps, heat bulbs, and of course some bird cages that are available for sale. So I always check this out too. Check out these emerald lizards. They're in a bioactive cage and they're so beautiful. After that, it was time to get my new birds in their travel cages and get ready to hit the road, headed home. I ended up getting 6 birds, a pair of Forbes parrot finches, those are the birds that I ordered, also a new pair of diamond doves, and a pair of gold breast waxbills. It was a quick drive home and I was so excited to get the birds in their new quarantine cages. Once I got the birds home, it was time to start my quarantine procedure, which starts with scat and mite spray as well as banding. Then I got the birds into their quarantine cages. I'm quarantining the doves and the gold breast waxbills in this cage and the Forbes in their own separate cage because the Forbes can be prone to being frightened and I want them to be comfortable as they adjust to their new environment. Once the birds were in their new quarantine cages, the best thing you can do for new birds is just to leave them alone for a few days. So I went back in my house, got egg food for everyone, watched my birds eat their egg food for a few minutes, and then left them alone. I'll go check on them tomorrow, and obviously I have cameras in the aviary so I can check on them without bothering them, which is really a great thing to be able to do. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions about quarantine, feel free to check out my video on that in the FAQ playlist below. I'm really excited and looking forward to 2023, and I hope you all will follow along with me. Have a great rest of the year and see you next time.